Marvel's First Family has had their introduction into the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the release of the trailer for The Fantastic Four First Steps, an upcoming science fiction film based on the Fantastic Four. We got to see all kinds of glimpses, and I wanted to share my thoughts on it. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Don't pull right down the side. Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Airy. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast and consider becoming a channel member. All right, so this trailer has really divided people on their opinions over it. And basically, the description of it is it opens up where Reed Richards, who of course is played by Pedro Pascal, and the Invisible Woman, who is played by Vanessa Kirby, are showing, I'm guessing, some sort of journalist or maybe an investor around their living room in the Baxter building. And it kind of has this retro futuristic look to it. It looks very 1960s, which is, of course, where they're saying the film will take place. We see the Thing is teaching Herbie how to cook, and they're having a good time together. We see Reed Richards and Sue Storm in bed together, and they're discussing what it's like being a family and their overarching just goals. And Vanessa Kirby has this dialogue, and as she's describing the Fantastic Four, we see images of Johnny playing dress up with an astronaut's helmet, going Human Torch. We see the Thing walking down the street. At one point, we see people following him. We see the head of Galactus casting a shadow over, of course, New York City. And then we see them standing together on this sort of platform thing, and they're looking out. And then we see another scene of them looking out, and we see the sky is darkening, basically hinting that Galactus is coming. Thank goodness he's not a cloud in this film. More on that later. But then it comes up the Fantastic Four First Steps. And I could be missing a few things, but that's basically the gist of it. Now, I did have some things I liked about it and some things I didn't like. I was seeing online there's a lot of negativity toward it, but I've got to be honest, my overall impression of it is that it's really good, but I want to be fair. So here are a few things I didn't like about it. The first thing is we never see Reed Richards use his powers. And I think that was a huge mistake because we see everyone else. We see the Thing with his rock skin, and we see Johnny flame on and the Invisible Woman go invisible and even create force fields. So I was a little confused why he didn't get a chance to show off his powers. I think that would have been a lot cooler. I think that was a mistake. I think we really should have seen Reed Richards being the brainy guy. And there's even a scene where there's a long chalkboard. I think it would have been cool if they had used that scene to show his stretch powers and writing something at the edge of the board where he's in the middle. But that was sort of a missed opportunity. I don't know why Marvel went that route. The next thing I didn't care for is the music. I know they were trying to make it sound real retro because of the time placement, and I think it is appropriate for them to use music from that period, but they weren't. They were using new songs and trying to make them sound like they go with the theme. They should have maybe just picked a song like from the 1960s and had a jam to it. I think that would have been better choice than having sort of that operatic Fantastic Four. It just didn't work in my humble opinion. I know they have to get the name out there, right? Because this is the first time Disney is doing a Fantastic Four. The rights used to belong to 20th Century Fox, but now the FF is with Disney thanks to their acquisition of 20th Century Fox. I'm not crazy about the title First Steps. I think they should have called it Fantastic Four 1 or maybe just FF. And I get it. They wanted to separate it from this movie starring Jessica Alba, which were just Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, and then the Josh Trank, which was Faint Four Stick or whatever. That was a really dumb way to do that title. But I think that it should have been Fantastic Four 1, Fantastic Four 0, something like that. They should have connected it. I don't like this where they're trying to do the Spider-Man Homecoming thing, which I get it. Originally, the director of Spider-Man: Homecoming was supposed to direct this movie. Now it's the guy who directed the episodes in WandaVision, and I wish that they had done a punchier title than just First Steps, because in my opinion, it looks like these aren't the first steps for the Fantastic Four. You can see that they've already gotten their powers. They're dealing with Galactus. So, I think that that would have been better. All right, so I know this one sounds like I'm jumping on a bandwagon. I think Pedro Pascal was miscast. Now, I am not on the bandwagon that says I'm tired of seeing him. He's in everything. He's an actor. He's going to be in movies. Yes, maybe Hollywood is trying to force him on us a little too much, like they were trying to do with Jared Leto. But Pedro Pascal is a better actor than Jared Leto. He can actually perform, and I still don't think he was right for this role. I think they should have stuck with John Krasinski. I think it would have made the interest in the film way more compatible with what was going on. I could be wrong about that. Now, Pedro Pascal may surprise me. Maybe it will blow me away. Maybe I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's he's a great Reed Richards. He's a great Mr. Fantastic." But they should have at least had him shave his beard. The final thing I didn't like about it is they hid the gender swap Silver Surfer. So Silver Surfer is, of course, a man, and they should have cast a man in that role, but they cast a woman actress, obviously. But if they're going to make a big deal and they're going to dig their heels in with all this DEI gender swapping, own it, right? I guess they knew that the trailer wouldn't be accepted if they put her in, and that's certainly possible. And I don't know why they didn't just go with a female herald of Galactus, because Galactus has had many heralds throughout his career of devouring planets. They could have easily selected a female version, but no, they want to gender swapped Silver Surfer because the Silver Surfer is the most well known, right? I think it would have been brave of them at least to put it in the trailer to say, hey, we're doubling down on this. But what do I know? I'm just a guy who talks on the internet. But if you're going to do something like that, own it, Disney. All right, so here's what I did like about it. All right. I think Vanessa Kirby is a good Sue Storm, at least by this trailer. She is very talented actress. I've seen her in many productions, including The Crown, for one example, and she's great. I think that maybe they could have been a little bit more delicate in how they casted her, but I think she's going to do a good job. She's clearly very talented. She's clearly very beautiful. I think she will work well for Sue Storm. Yes, I know Sue Storm is supposed to be a little bit more nerdy. She's supposed to look more like the girl next door, and Vanessa Kirby is definitely not girl next door vibes, but I still think her talent will translate into the role of Sue Storm, and I think that she will do an excellent job performing the character and bringing her to life. I love the setting. This idea of a retro futuristic 1960s New York, it does look good, although I am tired of every Marvel superhero being in New York. I'm glad they moved Iron Man to California, but I am really excited about this. And I know the Baxter Building has always been in New York, so I'm willing to take that punch on that one. But I think it's really cool. It looks great. They did a really good job. This makes me think that maybe the Fantastic Four are from a different dimension, one of those variant dimensions. Because if you look at flashbacks to the times in, like say Iron Man 2 when Stark is watching his father, or flashbacks with in Captain America Civil War, I noticed that the world still kind of looks normal. So that's why I think that this movie might be in a variant universe, and perhaps the Fantastic Four are going to be pulled into what's going on with Avengers Secret Wars and Avengers Doomsday. Like I said, could be wrong about that one, but just judging from this, that's what I think is going on here. I like the vibe. It's a really nice vibe. It has a really big deal on family. And Disney used to push family a great deal back in the good old days, but they've kind of left that behind. And I was excited to see that this movie put this strong emphasis on family, especially since Fantastic Four is called Marvel's First Family. That was something Stan Lee really put into that. They are a family of explorers and adventurers. They don't really like being superheroes, even though they have allied with the Avengers, the Inhumans, and the X-Men. They have come together a lot, and there's that rivalry between the Thing and the Hulk on who is stronger. Obviously, it's the Hulk, but I did like that part of the trailer. I really liked that it was trying to gin up excitement for this film because that's what a trailer is supposed to do. And that's why I've complained a lot about recent trailers, like, say, with Captain America Brave New World. It doesn't hype me up for what's going on in the story, but I think it's a good vibe. Oh, thank goodness Galactus is not a cloud. That was the killing point for Fantastic Four Silver Surfer. Besides the terrible casting of Doctor Doom in those movies, Galactus just being a cloud. Now, there's a variant of Galactus where he is a cloud, but there's a reason that one doesn't appear that often. It's because it's dumb. Basically, they took the concept of Alioth and turned him into Galactus for Rise of the Silver Surfer. And I'm so glad in this one they're making him a giant freaking alien. He's supposed to be incredibly powerful, and few can take him on and stop him. They always have to revert to some sort of scientific mean or lead him away from the Earth. So I'm so glad that we are seeing Galactus in his true form, and I look forward to taking a look at what they're doing now. He's going to be a giant CGI monster, and I'm actually okay with that as long as it looks cool. But I am so excited about that. I'm happy that we're going to get to see Galactus, the real Galactus, on the big screen. It seems like Disney is keeping the cosmic origin of the Fantastic Four, and I really like that. They mentioned their mission into space and how on one of those trips, that's when they got their powers. And I think that's really cool. I'm glad that they are keeping that because that was another problem with the Josh Trank film was he made it where they went into the negative zone and they drunk built the machine that sent them there. Really dumb stuff. But I'm glad that they are keeping that together. I think that that is really cool. I really hope to see their origin. I don't know if we're going to get to do that. Like they might just refer to it like they do in the Spider-Man Tom Holland films, but I hope they'll at least show it in flashback. Maybe then kind of like what they did for Iron Man in Iron Man 1, where they kind of tell the backstory of Tony Stark in a documentary style. I don't know if that's what they're going to do, but I hope we get something like that because their origin is really cool. And like I said, I am not a huge Fantastic Four fan. I only own one Fantastic Four graphic novel. It's Fantastic Four Season 1, which is kind of a reboot of their origin story, and I do enjoy it. I think it's really good. I don't own a Fantastic Four shirt, although for this one I may go out and buy one if they start coming out. But I do hope that this movie is good. I want to be excited for it. The trailer certainly got me a little excited for it. I know there's a lot of people online bashing it, and that's okay. They can critique it all they want. Unleash the beast as far as I'm concerned. There is absolutely no reason to trust Disney or Marvel Studios, but I am somewhat excited for it. I'm not going to say like I'm revving my car engine. I'm not going to sleep on the sidewalk waiting for it, but I'll probably get a ticket. Maybe I won't go see it opening weekend. Maybe I'll go see it the second weekend and enjoy it. Now, it could be bad. It could exceed my expectations, which that is what movie studios should do, not subvert them. And I'll let you know. This seems to be a special case, especially since the Fantastic Four haven't gotten a good movie since the Roger Corman film that was never released, although later it was leaked onto the web. Let me know what you think. I'd be curious to know what you think. Like I said, I'm not burning my shoes to run to the movie theaters to see it. I'm walking calmly in it because this trailer, despite the negative stuff I cited, I felt like it was good overall, and I'm going to give it a chance. So who knows? I could be right. I could be wrong. We'll all find out when it comes out. Thank you so much for watching today. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment, tell what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell to get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. If you would be so kind, head on over to my website, StudioJakeMedia.com. It's totally free. You just sign up with your email address or on the WordPress app. And best of all, there are no ads. So you can read all my commentary on anime, film, books, music, and so much more by just heading on over and clicking on an article. If you want to support the work that I'm doing, head to my locals community. It's kind of like a Patreon or a Subscribe Star. You can sign up for a monthly tier, or you can send tips to the articles that I post there, including exclusive ones that are just for my locals community. Plus, I also publish my short stories there, so you're definitely going to want to check those out. Speaking of stories, I have 4 novels released. I've got Cacophony, a supernatural thriller about angels battling demons over the souls of a small Texas town. You're definitely going to want to check this one out. If you're more into sword and sorcery, I have the Seven Royal series. Book 1 is All Good Things, Book 2 is Breaking the Stars, and Book 3 is coming soon. I'll have an announcement about it very soon. It is about a group of your favorite fairy tale characters who have to come together to stop a dark army from conquering their lands. Last but certainly not least is my romance novella, Blessed Child. It is a fantasy story about an elf princess who discovers she is pregnant with a human child, and this sends the elven kingdom into chaos. Her father, the king of the elves, hires a human knight who is disgraced but on the path of redemption to be her bodyguard. The two form an unlikely friendship and they stand together amidst all the turmoil going on around them. It is life affirming. It is about courage under fire. You're not going to want to miss this one. Be sure to pick this one up or these or all 4 on Amazon.com. Leave me a 5-star review. It really helps out small indie creators like myself. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.